What's going on, everyone? Let's get this here. What's happening? Let's go a little bigger here. What's happening? What's going on, everyone? Let's see. Everybody's back in here. Boy, I haven't seen you guys in a while. What's going on, everyone? Let's see. Renee, of course, you're first. Let's see. Clerks 93. What's going on? Doc Chuck's in there. I don't know why they keep withholding this kind of status on you. It's kind of bizarre. What's up, Kyle? What's happening, brother? Photography Light and Magic. Hi, Chris. Hope you are well. We are doing well here. Thank you, Photography Light and Magic. Good to see you in there. Talk Wasabi. Nathan Bond. Hi, Chris. Big shout out from Cardiff, Wales. What's going on? Good to see you guys in there as well. X15. What's happening? Andy Hughes. What's happening, man? Good to see you in there. Good evening from Scotland. John Beck. Cheers, brother. Good to see you in there. Renee von Oosterhout is in there. All right. Daryl Harrod. Yeah, you missed yesterday, but that's okay. You can always watch it, right, Daryl? And, you're live tonight, so sweet. Good to see you in there. Doc Chuck says, Louisville, Kentucky, in the house. What's happening, neighbor? Third Eye Open. Hey, everyone. What's going on, Noodles? Noodles. Barter M, hello there. Let's see. Andrew Munchkin, what's happening? Glad to see you too, Andrew. Mimi Rax is in the house. What's going on? Josh D's in the house. Pete Fierro. Oh, man, you guys all hop back in there tonight. Sweet. Let's see. One of the subs here is asking. Let's see. Let's see. One of my subs was just asking me over here. I said, are they on Thursdays for now? No, it was just a make-up one for not having last Fridays, so I just let them know. Let's see. Jaden Fury, evening, Chris. Great vids and a second hangout. Awesome, man. Yeah, it's good to have everybody in here. As usual. Oh, just move this thing down just a little bit. See ya. I gotta go back now. Michael Stock, what's happening? Good to see you in there again. He says, happy Friday, everyone. Taylor, hey, Chris, how are you doing? Doing fine, Taylor. Good to see you in there. Hope you're doing well as well. Mimi Rax says, I saw an upside-down rainbow today. That must have been kind of freaky. Andrew, here in Germany, people wear masks while driving. Alone. Yeah, we get that too. For the likes of me, I can't even understand that. I guess they figure because they're outside, they're going to catch it. And it doesn't work that way. Little story, there was a woman that we know. She went into one of these drive-thrus at these fast food restaurants, and there was a woman in front of her, and she started screaming out the window back because she was just, one car behind the other. And she started screaming at her, 6 feet, apart, 6 feet. The lady's looking at her like, what the hell? So she gets her food. Well, this other woman moves up, and then she literally pulls aside, gets out of her car, starts yelling at her again. 6 feet, 6 feet. And she was like at awe, like, what do I say to this woman? Is she really that goofy? I would have said, lady, just get back in your car. I mean, you're being silly at this point. I mean, 6 feet, you understand how long your car is, right? And the fact that you're in your own car by yourself, yeah. Some people go way overboard with this stuff. Payday, Clerks 93 said. Made me react. Yeah, it makes you wonder how this stuff is just not mandatory right from the word go, right? Because if they knew this is some kind of epidemic at the time and then became a pandemic, you think they would have been like, guys, this is mandatory, period. It's not the case. Pretty sweet. Yeah, Kyle. So I got you on my flat screen TV, but talking to you on my phone. That's pretty sweet. It's the way to do it. Yeah, I seen that too, Photography Light Magic. He said, I see Donnie Trump's found the cure for COVID. Just inject yourself with disinfectant. I fear for the man's sanity. I swear, I just think, I don't know if he was just being like, I don't know, just being goofy about the whole thing. It's like, clearly you can't use that in your bloodstream, right? And I wouldn't expect anybody to even try that because that's just crazy to even think somebody do something like that to begin with. But you notice how a lot of these news things, and they're putting it all over the internet. Don't do that. It's, kind of sad that people would actually try to do that. But yeah, you never use disinfectant or any kind of, chemicals literally in your veins. That's not good. It just makes you wonder. He's probably, I don't know if he's just thinking out loud, like, I wonder if that would kill, if you injected that, if it would actually kill in your system. It's like, first of all, I wouldn't even have that blurred out of my mouth being the president. But yeah, I saw that. I was just like, what? Noodles. Flatten the curve and tighten those abs. Me too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the other countries there. I know because they had it before us, like Italy, China, of course, things like that, and where they've had a flat top before we did. But we did it pretty darn fast considering, because it really blew up here. But the good thing about it is a lot of it has flat topped, and especially like in, New York City, they're not seeing as much, and it's really starting to slow down big time where, it is starting to flat top as well, which is great news. But then these people want to have, everybody, open up the country, this and that. I don't know if that's a thing I'd want to do right here at the moment, but they are doing in increments and not just like, I think they use a analogy like turning on a faucet full force, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to turn it on just a little bit at a time. So I understand what they're saying. If they do it just slowly, I think it'll be fine, but people will take that as a green light to just like congregating 4,000 people at a time, I don't know if that's such a good idea, but we'll see. Lance Miss Blanco, I think I made it on time today. I believe you did. Good to see you in there. Oh, is that right, Mimi? So, Chris, the same thing happened to us. A guy with a mask yelled at us for not keeping the distance. That's like, listen, guys. I mean, if you're outside, because I used to say it was like airborne. It is if you're indoors. If you're congregated right around each other, literally standing in a circle talking, and you're outside, yeah. I mean, somebody sneezes, whatever, coughs in your face. Clearly, you're gonna catch it. But if you're just like, let's say you're walking around, maybe you want some exercise or whatever, and the other guy's a good distance away. He's like, freaking 100 feet away. Don't worry about it. People are going a little overboard with this shit. I mean, it's not like it's a joke, but I'm saying as far as when the people react the way they did, like I told you about that woman in the drive-thru, that's a little overboard. That's a little excessive. Yep, Adam. Yep, you said morning, Chris. Doing another live stream Saturday in Australia. Yep. Well, we do the regular Friday night. It's going to be always Friday night, but like I said, the other sub asked me, she had said, you having an every Thursday? No, it's just to make up for last Friday. I told you guys I'd make it up to you. Have a little extra time there. Yeah, I mean, I can understand Kyle, them wanting to be safe and stuff like that. They don't want it. I get all that. But, being safe. Nobody wants to take it home to their, maybe their parents, their grandparents, or maybe their young kids. I get it. I'm very sympathetic with that. I understand. But if you're in your car and you're in your car and they're in theirs and they're in the car, I mean, how much distance is there between you? Plus, you're actually encased in something, It's not like you're breathing on their shoulders, So, again, a little overboard. What's going on, Bush Corey? Good to see you in there. Miss Heard, good to see you in there. Yeah, you said that was very goofy what Trump said about injecting disinfectant. Yeah, I don't know if he was just trying to be silly or something, just thinking out loud. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but yeah, that's a no-no. Let's not inhale disinfectants or anything like that. That's a no-no. It just basically spells out, skull and crossbones. Let's not do that. Richard Frost says, hi, Chris. Hi, group. Hope we are all keeping well. We are keeping well. Thank you, Richard. Good to see you in there. Whoops. Yeah, photography like magic. You said, China's being hammered again. There's another lockdown in another city. Well, because I think they're trying to be too aggressive. If you look at it from a perspective as far as the economy, right? If they're afraid a lot of small businesses are not going to be able to restart or stay open, even though they're getting these loans. People will lose their jobs, and if they don't get back, the country will basically be in another huge recession. I understand that. So it's this weird tipping point. It's like, how long do you keep people in the house and not go back to work? The economy. So I can understand where they're coming from. I get it. But letting it all open too soon, I think that's just a recipe for disaster. That's just my personal opinion. Now, other people that want to get back to work, they may totally, have a different, thinking process. Like, no, we need to get back to work. And I would get that. So they're trying to be safe and then still get the economy going again. How do you do that? So it's that weird tipping of the scale. What do you do, right? Adam, you said, I wouldn't open the country yet. Here in Australia, we have had no new cases or very little. So I'm all for the lockdown. And I think they should have done that right off the bat. Knowing that other countries had it, it's going to make it into other countries, right? Like the United States, Australia, New Zealand. The list goes on and on and on, right? So knowing that, other countries should have said, listen, we got something major going on. And they did. They tried to shut down the borders so nobody from China can come in here and so on and so forth. But the problem with it is, that same time, somebody could have been visiting China. Maybe they went back to France, to their home country or whatever, and then they decided, well, why don't we go to the United States too? So you don't know, right? So anybody could have made it into the country. They should have done this sooner, locked everything down, and would have had it hammered out a long time ago. So who knows, right? Maybe. My boyfriend told him to shut up. Yeah, and I don't blame him. I would have said the same thing. Grosso 4123. Hi, Chris, and all in the chat. A little late to the party tonight, but here now. Well, it's only about 20 minutes past. You're fine. Good to see you in there, man. No, Miss Heard. I don't know. My brother. No, he's fine. He said, Chris, I'm out of the loop here. How is your brother? I'm not aware of your brother is not well. No, my brother's fine. You thinking of somebody else, maybe? Matthew is so wise. Corona anomalies and beyond. There you go. Let's not have that. Let me see. Photography light and that Trump's a senile old biatch. Yeah, actually bastard, but yeah. I think he's doing some good for the country, but then some things you clearly go, what the hell's he even thinking, right? So, yeah. Let me see here. This thing jumped on me. Let me go back down here. Exactly, Kyle. Yeah, they act like They act like you're breathing down their neck. Exactly. And it's like, it'd be one thing if you're like this close to their head, you know what I mean? To be like, dude, get the hell off me, you know? I get it. But, yeah, for the likes of me, I can't understand that. I mean, I work with the guys I work with at work, and, we're good. I think we've already had it a long time ago, like in January and February, and it's like old news now. But still, you still want to wear the mask and whatever else, just to be on the safe side. And a lot of people are still wearing them, thankfully, because it's not so much you getting it, because, when you wear the mask, it's not so much you getting it, but if you have it, letting it out, right? So, yeah. Alien Deno, good to see you in there. So just let my dog out for his night wee and Mars is shining bright, which remind me of the stream. Yeah, good to see you in there again. Andy Hughes says, don't forget to give a thumbs up, folks. Bam. I agree. Thumbs up, guys. Let me see. Yeah, Cliff High, yeah, you're right. You said we know that air conditioning, including cars, spreads it. Well, but if you're in the car by yourself, the funny thing about it, the woman was in the car by herself, had a mask on herself, and went through the drive-thru. And like I said, she decided to pull over and get this lady, a bunch of hell about it. And it's like, what are you talking about? If she had done that to me, I would just, lady, get back in your car. Stop being silly. You're in your car, I'm in mine. I'm not sitting in the car with you. Divine Catlian, rather. Hello, Chris. Sorry I'm late. I hope everyone is well. No, you're fine. Catalin, that's, I think, how you pronounce it. I don't usually see it spelled like that. It's what kind of throws me off. But yeah, we're well here. I hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, Adam, yeah. Don't do drugs, people, or chemicals. Laughing my ass off, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, believe it or not, some people would actually take Trump's advice and actually do that, which is crazy. They probably think, oh, wow, I haven't tried that yet. And it's like, no, don't do that. Kyle, he said, thumbs up, people. X at the top, then live chat comes back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pete. Yeah, I agree. He said Las Vegas mayor wants to open. Not good. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's just way premature. I think they should wait a little bit longer. It's not like they're not sending funds out to people, so people will have some kind of money and all this other stuff. And they got like 3 other proposals on the table about more kind of a stimulus kind of thing for every month up to what is it, December or something, and then whatever. Kind of like your deferred rent or mortgage kind of thing. To me, it's just another day. So anything I've been doing lately, I do. In other words, pay your bills, pay your car, payment, house payment, whatever it may be. It's just business as usual as far as I'm concerned. Now, some people who are not working and they're tight on money, I also get their situation too. They're like, well, hell, how can I do that? A couple of you guys voiced it a couple of weeks back when we were talking about this and said, well, hell, we're getting a $1,200 stimulus, which is good. But if your rent is $1,100 or $1,000 a month, that's not good. So, yeah. So, again, it's this weird thing going on. It's two sides to that, right? Thank you, Miss Haird. You said smash the thumbs up button. Smash it. Thank you, Kyle, for your support. Always. Appreciate that, bro. Number one fan, I like that little guy. Josh D, you're the same way I am now. I don't know if you're talking about like a sweet tea or anything, but you said my only drug is tea. It's addictive. Now, I don't know if you're talking about just regular tea, like I said, or the sweet tea, but man, I drink that stuff and it's like, oh yeah, it's like liquid crack. Yeah, photography like man. I should tell Trump it's a good idea to inject himself with the disinfectant. Let the old Bassett to go first. Well, again, I don't know what his mindset, what the hell he was even thinking when he said that. I don't. I think it's insane. What's going on, John Evans? He said, "What's up, Chris? Ready to get this party started? Yeah, let's get it on." Adam, he said, during this lockdown is getting alcohol essential in your day-to-day stuff. LOL, I smash the like button as normal. Sweet. What's going on, Elaine? Good to see you there. You said it's 73 degrees Fahrenheit here. I sat outside and watched my grass grow. Sweet. I wish it was, well, it's only 62 degrees Fahrenheit here, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. I don't know what happened. It's like before, spring started, technically. It was like 80 degrees here, like hitting 90. All of a sudden now it's like 50s and 60s. I'm like, what? I guess it could be worse, right? We could be in a foot of snow and it could be 5 below zero. So you got to look at the bright side of everything. Wild Otter, good to see you. And he said, who got tested positive but feel fine? And that's the thing, you can feel all right. You really can. You can, some people are just carriers, right? And then they can just walk around and go, I don't have any symptoms. So this is the reason why they're asking people to get tested. But, the good majority will get some kind of symptoms. So. H-Toss, 1AV. What's going on, man? Good to see you back in here again. Best start to the weekend. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. The Clerks 93 said, LOL, I bet we breathe in chemtrails every day. Well, you can bet it's not healthy, but it has gotten better. You know that. You guys have seen it on the news, like I was stating before, that, worldwide, the air quality's gotten better. Wild animals running in different spots where they weren't because, basically we're not on the roads. And, water quality's gotten better. Is, just crazy. It's almost like they plan this for a reason, for many reasons, right? I don't know if it was to reset and steal, to use the term steal money from whatever. But the positive side is, again, the environment. But that's probably the only good thing. But that's huge on a huge scale, right? You're talking worldwide, literally. So that part's good. But is it something like a population control within X amount of months? Think about it. How many people have died worldwide, right? That's not good. So, and every year we have some kind of flu. So that's why a lot of people go, they just laugh it off. Well, some of it, like this one here, it just happens to be more, it's just a lot more dangerous, right? So that's why they got to be careful. And they say it's a lot more contagious. You can get it easier, whatever. But to me, a flu is a flu, but just be careful. Like any other time of the year when these flus come out, right? It's always some kind of weird strain, virus strain, right? Third Eye Open, you said, I think I already had it back end of January, beginning of February. Exactly. I think a lot of people are saying that. In fact, I seen a thing, I think we were talking about this. It said something about, it was a virus around in, late December, November, December of last year. That's why they call it COVID-19. So, yeah, I think this stuff was out long before. I think we all had, a good majority of people had it. And now they're just seeing the residual of it. And now it's just actually starting to come down where a lot of people had it. They hurdled it. Now they're doing better. Let's see. Andrew, that's a good comment you got there. It's gonna be one of the topics too. He said, Chris, I saw the so-called Musk satellites fly over northern Germany last Saturday night. They look like helium balloons being towed. Helium is NASA's biggest outlaying operating fuel. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Has anybody else have seen these things? These satellites, the Cube satellites? Pretty interesting. And if you haven't, I'm going to show you how you can track them. Because those are pretty cool. In fact, I can show you that. Well, let's see. This was what they had, all of these, the Starlink mission, and all of these little satellites were basically they look like a magazine, and they would just get released. They just come out of the bottom of this thing, and just go into orbit, right? But now if you want to track that, you can go here. So basically you allow your phone, your computer to know your area. You click on it, and it'll tell you exactly where this thing is at the moment, right? And you can see this right here. It tells you everything right there, longitudinal, latitudinal, all this other good stuff. And you can see whether this is basically, they say this is Starlink 6, but if you look at the top, it'll say right here, Starlink 6, the leader. So that's the first one in the row of this Starlink train, right? And you can see where it's at right there. It's going to be heading right towards and going right over Portugal. Yeah. Then into Africa and almost down to it's going to clear right over Madagascar. So it's pretty cool, and you can see right here on the right-hand side, you can see where it's actually going straight across. It actually show you a wave like it's doing this, but that's not the way it really goes around. It's just the way it shows that. But it's pretty interesting regardless. If you guys are not aware of that, if you wanted to track it, you can do that. Let me make this smaller so my face don't get in the way of that. You guys can see that better. Yep, CubeSats. Well, if you guys ever want to actually track it and look over it, like if it's going over your part of the country, county, whatever it may be, that'd be the perfect place to do it. And you can actually see it, track it, and then you can go, wow, I can go out there, and if it's that time of night, and it's clear, of course, then you'll be able to see them. Josty, you said, yes, Chris, I saw them pass over in a freaking row. I live North Holland. Yeah, I mean, you can actually see people have posted photos of it, right? And you can see them all on a link. It's pretty neat. Actually pretty sweet. Thank you, Alien Tenno, for your support, as always. Been thinking about the Goldilocks zones within the planet's mini-system, i.e. Saturn's gravitational pull on Titan, warming the moon up. What do you think, Chris? Well, this is the reason why that they, what was the name of that mission? They got one going to Titan in 2034. And they're thinking, I just read this, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday evening. And where they were talking about how they've seen what looks like they may be actual like twisters or these dirt devils on that moon. And of course, due to the atmosphere, it can do that and all this other stuff. Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot to a lot of these moons. You know that, right? You get that pushing and pulling effect on the moon, so therefore it heats its interior, so on and so forth. And they think that Titan might be a really good candidate for life on it. Why wouldn't it? Somebody even said it stated it was like almost like a mini Earth, but not quite, of course. It does have, it's not exactly like Earth, but so I don't know. I mean, this thing's going off on me here. Put that back. This is the reason why they're going to that moon, and I would love to see that. Of course, that's a long way away, man. We're talking 14 years from now. But, I think there's a good possibility you might find life. And that's pretty, if you think about it, you think of our moon, you go, dust, cold, nothing there, right? But when you see something like that, and it could actually harbor life, that's pretty wild. Yeah, I'd love to see that. I wish it was a lot sooner. Mimi Reacts, you said, what is their purpose? Basically, it's going to be internet for around the world. So areas that cannot get any kind of satellite, whether it be some real remote area, A lot of poorer countries can't, get, cable or, come some kind of satellite, regular standard satellite internet. This one here will like be around the world. So it'll be like a link so everybody can basically talk around the world. But I'm trying to remember what they said about it too. There was something else. But anyway, this is going to be taking like a decade. So they're putting these things out now, and since they've started and gotten them all, they're trying to get them all out there lined up and everything else. And then, of course, they got this receiving stations around the world, which will receive, all this information, it'll process it, and of course it'll be worldwide. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. It'd be cool to see that. Well, that could very well be. Mimi, he said spying on us? Yeah, could be. Let me see. Wild Oddie said no chemtrails in Clearwater, Florida for 9 days. Exactly. Everything's gotten a lot clearer, if you guys have noticed. Now, we still see it occasionally here. I don't know about you guys, but we still see the trails and stuff here, right? Yeah, and if you guys you guys want to check out the ISS tracker, it's kind of set up the similar way. You got it right here, and it gives you the simple information right here. You can see it's traveling in 17,144.2 or 02 or 01, just changed. Miles per hour, just about 260 miles above Earth. Pretty sweet. And if you guys want to listen to it, if you got a scanner at home, a good antenna there, you can put it on a 2-meter band. It's 145.800 megahertz, and you can get it in. You can receive it pretty darn well. I've got an antenna on the roof. I can pretty much hear this thing. In fact, it was just west of Michigan, and I can hear them really strong here. So, they have no obstructions. Keep in mind, they're way above everything. There's no mountains to block them, no nothing. So this is the reason why a lot of ham operators talk to them back. They basically give them a shout and come, and get a response from them. And a lot of times you can get lucky. You can catch them. They'll be talking to schools because schools will talk with them as well. And, some of the students will ask them questions. You get depending on the antenna that you're using, if it's a tracking antenna, like a beam antenna, you can literally track these guys for like 20, 30 minutes. If you have like an omnidirectional like I do with a ground plane on it, I can get it for like 12 minutes roughly. They come in, you can hear them coming in from the static and then come up to like, 9 to 30 S units, which is basically a full-scale receive, and then you start to see it drop back off. So really interesting. You guys will get the links to this as well. In fact, you can just go on isstracker.com, and this one here is a little bit bigger. It's satflare.com, so satflare.com, and you can get that as well. So if you want that, you want to check it out now instead of waiting on the links later, you can do that. Whoops. Move this thing up here. All right. Hudson Craft, you said, sorry I'm late, class. No, you're good. You're not going to get suspended or afternoon, what do you call it? Have to stay after school or anything. Let me watch you. You made it a little early this time. Hi all. Hope all is well. We're doing well here. Hope you're doing good. Oh, did it, Kyle? Well, of course, I was at work, so I wouldn't know. He said ISS flew over Ohio this morning at 6:15 a.m. Yeah, which I think is pretty cool, and you can actually see it yourself if it's at night. You'll actually see this thing just kind of fly right across the sky. And I've seen people actually track it with a telescope and everything. It's pretty sweet. What's going on there, Mr. Mort Piat? He said Ohio. Andrew Munchkin says the Musk satellites went from west to east, by the way. Just Flor Acosta, you said a meteor hit Ecuador. Didn't hear about that. I'm sure it's on the news somewhere. How big was that thing? Was it big? Was it enough to do any damage or just something small? Josh D said, anyone who likes Chris, his vids, take a look at Jean Ward's too. Yeah, exactly. Um, good call out there, Josh. Yeah, Jean Ward, if you're not familiar, that's his channel, Jean Ward, but does really good work there. He does a lot of satellite views looking down, which is awesome. Definitely check his work out. Yeah, give him detention. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Basically the same thing. You know, remember that when you were young, if you did something stupid, it's like, all right, you're staying after school. You're like, oh, here we go. Mom's going to kill me. Like, not good. All right, throw him in the corner. There you go. That's a crash. I was going to make a joke saying I'd love to stay late, but I thought it might sound strange. There you go. Mort, you said doing good, Chris. How are you? A little late today. No, you're fine. It's we're just kind of shooting the breeze, talking about the COVID and all that other stuff, and then we're just showing you here. We're talking about the Starlink train, what they call it, and basically it's SpaceX is all these little CubeSats are putting out in space to make it like internet for the whole world. Of course, it's not completely set up yet. It's going to take a bit of time, get them all out there, fine tune everything as far as the receiving stations around the world, so on and so forth. And of course, you can see on the screen here, you can check out the ISS as well, right there. And of course, you can go to that one. It's isstracker.com. It's pretty simple. And you can check out the hybrid if you want to do hybrid or terrain. It doesn't really matter. But you can see this one here is going to go like this. It's going to loop down, go back up. Pretty interesting. Starlink, same way. Real-time tracking. So it has all of that stuff. It's pretty sweet. Going right there in Africa right now. Just went over Nigeria, at least the northeastern part of it. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to be able to do that. And like I said, as far as the ISS, if it's coming towards your area, if you have an outdoor antenna on your scanner or whatever it may be, a receiver, because I've got a shortwave receiver that'll get this as well. Really, really cool stuff. And like I said, if you got a good antenna outside, yeah, you pick these guys up way outside your state. And of course, if it's got a good gain antenna, you'll really pick these guys up really well. Andy Hughes, you said, I got to run, folks. See you all next time. Thank you, Andy. Thanks for stopping in. And have yourself a great weekend there, right? Oh, okay. Josh Floor, you said, I just read it. Oh, okay. So it must have just recently happened. I guess it was today? Alien Town, be careful. When ISS flies over, they got to dump their way somewhere. Oh, not good. Yeah, there you go, Andrew. ISS is probably a big space station, silver helium balloon, too. That's their story, and they're sticking to it. Hodge Crest says 31 people need the thumbs up. Oh, yeah, you got to get up there, guys. We got like 87 watching and only 59 thumbs up. What? Richard Frost, you said to Chris, your voice sounds better these days. Well, like I said, I don't know about you guys, but like I said, for some reason, and I know they've said this before, where they said if back when you were younger, if you didn't have any kind of allergies, you'd probably get them when you get older, and vice versa. Some people had allergies like mad when they were younger, and they don't have them now. Well, I was the one that didn't have it back in the day. Now I'm getting it. I'm like, wow, I'll get a scratch in my throat because of this. In fact, my nose was running today. It was just like, because I was out and back in the dock and everything else, and we got a bunch of trees, tree line and everything else. And oh my God, it was literally like scratchy throat. I mean, nose running, the whole nine. I come out of there, come home. It's a lot better, but I can still feel a little bit there, I was like, okay. Oh, okay, Jerry, you kind of fooled me. I didn't realize it was MC Gamer. You said, yeah, change my name to my real name. No one was watching my gaming vid, so my MC Gamer is no more. Huh. I don't know what kind of games you were playing, but wish I would have knew that a little bit more. I mean, I know you told me, obviously, you were a gamer and stuff like that, but I could have checked it a little bit more and then, gave you a shout out, Heath B. He said, what's up, Chris? Watching from Georgia. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Grosso 4123, John Ward's channel is excellent. His recent vids have been really eye-opening. Good stuff. Follow his channel. Oh, absolutely. What I like about his, like I said, and I think we talked about this last night, where you got these megalithic, like, it looks like blocks. Even if it's like, almost like octagon-shaped or almost round, then you get this perfectly square block right on the top. Now, again, Mother Nature could probably do something that wild, but when you start to find more than one of these things, or it's like a square block, with like 2 or 3 round things on it, it just, okay, that's possible. Nature could do that. But then you start to see more and more of it. You go, okay, was this intentional and, intentionally made, or is it natural? I don't think all that's natural. Yeah, he does a really good job on his channel. Adam, you said with my Meade scope, Chris, actually tracked the space shuttle and ISS. Both look very cool. Yeah, it's cool to see them actually with your own eye, as opposed to seeing it like on a, like something like this, like some kind of. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see this one here. I mean, obviously, this is just like just like a CGI kind of cartoonish kind of thing, but it is accurate. It is very accurate. I've done this with the. I think the name of the video, because somebody was saying the ISS is a bunch of fake crap. Like this page is crap. It's not real. It's not accurate. So what I do is I did a real time. I said, is the ISS where they say it is? I think it's the name of the video. And what I did is I did the actual live camera from the ISS, and then I put this on the side of it. So I had that on one side, the live on the right. On the left-hand side, I had this screen here, and I was showing. I said, okay, they're showing right here. There's a piece of land coming. Here it comes. Here it comes. And boom, if it wasn't right there, it was Central America, I think it was crossing over at the time. And I said, there you go, guys. It's right there. And it's showing, there's like, it's in open water. All of a sudden you can see land coming. I said, it should be coming up to Central America. And sure in the hell, boom, right there. They were both 100% accurate. So, yeah. Just to prove to these people, because you know how some of these fruitcakes are, oh, the ISS is not up there. It's nothing. Yeah, okay. Yeah. They're just going to go put it up there for no reason. Well, you're right about that, photography, light magic. CGI and cartoons is NASA's specialty. Yeah, they can do that. There's no doubt about that. But there's some things that, you got to read between the lines and actually see the truth and the one that they are showing, right? And not some of the crap that they keep throwing over these photos. Gary PM. Hi, Chris. Watching from the UK. Like your videos. Keep them coming. Well, I appreciate that, Gary. I'll wave my hand over to you and the fam over there and over across the big pond there, right? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, you got that right there, Les Sweet. He said, oddly, one virus done more for reducing pollution, rather, than decades of activist and lobbyist. Let me make this a little bigger. Lots of grass. I meant the McDonald's. My Wi-Fi lagged. Sorry. Josh D said, Chris, between you and Jean, I was convinced about Mars civilization before I had some doubts. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the one we just looked at yesterday. I mean, you can clearly see at one point, it was almost like almost one of the last things we looked at, right? Where there's no doubt you can actually see what looks like mechanically made, intelligently made parts. And it just like, boom, those littlest things right there tell you 100% unequivocally there's stuff there. And again, it's, people go, I just see rocks. Look closely. That's what you got to do. Just first glance, you won't see anything. You say, what the hell is this guy talking about? Anybody comes to my channel, these people that are like transients, I call them, because they've never been to the channel. And they'll come over and this guy's, what the hell he's talking about? They're just rocks, man. Are they or are they not? Take a close look. That's the key. And when you do, you start going, man, I never realized this shit was in the damn photo. Well, it is. Kyle, he said they're not fake and they are very accurate. If you go outside and look in the sky, it will fly over you at the exact time. Exactly. Track it and you'll see it. No doubt. I've done it. You know? Ian Wentworth, he said, hey, Chris, how's it going? Doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Good to see you in there. Alan Pope says Starlink is powered by Krypton. Ooh, I don't know. Hope not. Exactly, Mimi. Yeah, he said NASA wants us to see rocks. And, like I said, for the person who's just looking over it just quickly, just going through, oh, wow, that's cool, that's pretty, ooh, wow, and they wouldn't think nothing of it. They'd say, well, it's great that we're seeing photos from another planet. Look closely. And there's much more on those photos. And they'll do anything they can to try to take them out of the stuff out of them. But just when you look closely, they don't always take everything out. That's what's cool. That's why I like it. Like I said, it's kind of like this Cracker Jack box. You don't know what you're going to get, right? Why would, you said, alien believers, you said, why would we be different than any other planet? Well, I mean, it depends on the sunlight you're getting. It depends on the oxygen makeup of the atmosphere. It depends on a lot of stuff, your water cycle, so on and so forth. And it would have everything to do with, what kind of indigenous creatures, whatever. So it'd vary a little bit, right? But if you have the building blocks like we have here on Earth, then it'd be maybe not far-fetched to see animals or, even humanoids, something similar to us, right? Now, depending on gravity, they could be taller, they could be shorter, so on and so forth, Which reminds me, let me ask you guys a question. Okay, you can see that we're talking about the Starlink train and everything else, like we're seeing here. This is what's crazy. I thought about this. I'm saying, okay, what if NASA, SETI, all of these places that are looking for life, like with the Kepler telescope or these different telescopes, whatever it may be, they're looking at these planets. Now, what would happen if they said, okay, like we talked about that other planet that they discovered. Was it IO 700D, I think it was. I might have that wrong. You guys can correct me. But that was one of them I showed yesterday. Now, let's suppose they send like some kind of probe there, right? Okay, we're gonna orbit the planet. What would happen as they're approaching and they seen stuff like we have around our planet? Think about that a minute. How weird would that be? Like they're approaching the planet and they're saying, wait a minute, what's all this stuff orbiting around their planet? Wait a minute, what the? Would they panic? Would they tell us? Let's say they decided, okay, let's not orbit the planet because clearly there's enough stuff there orbiting that planet. Let's just do a flyby. Would they tell the public? What do you guys think? You got to think about that for a moment now. Again, you're one of these space agencies, and you're just going, okay, we're going to send an orbiter around that particular planet. You go there, and as you're approaching, of course, you've got cameras on it, and you're sending information back, and you go, wait a minute. This looks like our planet. Look at our planet with all the stuff flying around the planet and different satellites and, ISS flying on. And you go there, and you come and talk, you go, what the hell do we do? Okay, just do a flyby, man. Just keep going. What do you think what do you think they would do? Do you think they would tell the public that they found another planet just like ours, meaning something intelligent with these things flying around it? Or would they just not say anything? Andrew Munchkin, you said the Mars rovers did not travel that far. Why does the horizon change so much when they only went a few miles? Well, I think it's because it's just the way they turn, right? Because you can take a picture. I mean, you can take a million pictures just by doing a 360, right? But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the Curiosity rover was only supposed to travel 10 miles. So once it landed, it was supposed to go towards the base, which is approximately 1 to 2 miles to the base. And I mean the very bottom base. I'm not talking about some, over these dried up lake areas, but just prior to that, supposed to go there, then run along the base of it, and then go up to the up in Mount Shop a certain distance, and that would make a 10-mile complete trip. And they're not even there yet, but they had to navigate around all these kind of like buttes and all this other stuff. And of course, I don't think that's the truth at all. I think they're just kind of meandering through like intelligently made things. I think they're just kind of checking out different things here and there, and they're just saying, got an outrock cropping we can't get around, so we're gonna have to back up and go around. And now I'm sure that's some of the reason, but I believe it may be debris, and they're just trying to navigate around it. Now there might be more, natural reasons, meaning like I said, like a lake bed that's just too much for that thing to go over, whether it be a bunch, maybe a hill and a half to go over or whatever. But I don't think that's the case, judging on what we're seeing in these photos, right? So you guys are saying that they would definitely hide it. Well, Pete, you made a great point that you said, I doubt it. They won't tell us how ancient we are on this planet. Well, here's a question, though. I mean, let's suppose they're maybe a little less, technologically advanced than we are, or right around the same level. I mean, we don't know, right? Or they could be far more advanced. Yeah, we don't know. But can you imagine, like, actually seeing these photos? Let's say this thing is approaching, and they're sending pictures back to Earth, and you see this thing, this planet, it's just got the weirdest things around the orbit of that planet. That would be freaky. And then you'd probably be thinking, oh my God, if they know where this thing came from, this orbiter, and we do a flyby and they capture it, and then they know where it comes from, then we're in trouble, I agree with you, Kyle. I think you said we have made contact, people. Absolutely. And by the way, thank you for your support. Appreciate you. And you said right there, we have made contact. NASA will lie. And you're right about that. I mean, I don't think they'd tell the truth. Now, again, I said this yesterday, if it happened to be a forest, trees, I'd say yes. Because it'd be like, oh, wow. People are like, well, that's cool. But again, it opens up this weird door where people are going to be like, oh, can we go live there? Can we, kind of thing. I don't know. But to me, I'd be interested. I'd be like, wow, it's got forests, it's got lakes. That's awesome. That's cool. Because they're going to want to jump onto that planet, especially if it's a lot like, it doesn't have to be identical, but a lot like Earth. Let's say it's a thinner atmosphere, meaning oxygen content, okay? People live here. Of course, your lungs have to get used to that, but they live in the highest elevations here on Earth, and it's thin oxygen, and yet they live to 100 plus years old. Clerks 93, you said, just like all the star forts around the world, who built them? Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot, and we talked about this, Clerks, remember? Because you asked me about it. You need to check it out. And the funny thing about it, they look a lot alike, man. They're not just like, like totally different, right? Like one's a square and one's like, a pyramid. They all look pretty darn close. Not identical, of course, but a lot like, each other. I agree with you, Kyle. I believe that they have absolutely have made contact years ago. This goes way back to probably before we even went to the moon. And, this is why we were able to go to the moon. Some people say, oh, no, we were warned off not to go back. I don't know. I mean, is that true? I'm not sure. Okay, we can lock into that. I didn't even see that. That's pretty sweet. But to me, I know they, you can almost bet that they made contact. And even if they didn't, they got the technology from them, whether it be crashed UFOs. And, I heard people say, what the hell was it they said? Oh, if they're so far advanced, why would they crash? Well, I don't know. We have high technology ourselves. If you look at our technical, situation right now, I mean, we still have things that crash. We still have things that malfunction. We still have things that go bad. I mean, if an intelligent person built it, even though as intelligent as they are, it's going to break at some point. I mean, that's all there is to it. Or something that fluky that goes wrong, whether it be, let's say they came into the atmosphere here and somehow hit a lightning storm. Who the hell knows? You can have a perfectly brand new car, and within 20,000 miles, the thing's breaking down left and right. Why? It's not supposed to break down that prematurely. It's a machine, and you would expect it to break down, 80, 90,000 miles over 100,000 miles. Not always the case. Noodles, you said they would say the minimum, like them Tic Tacs. Absolutely. But if you notice that they did say they believe now that it is the military's. Now, it makes you wonder, okay, they're trying to hide the idea that it might be alien? Or did they just say, okay, no, it's not alien. Let's just tell them it's not. It's ours. It's kind of weird. That could go either way, right? Either way, they're going to go, oh, shit, if it's... Now we got to just tell them it's ours. So we'll make it look good. Yeah, it's just our new technology. It's a lot easier than saying it is aliens. Because, people are going to want to know everything there is to know about it, right? What's going on there, 420 Alien? You said, I'll say it again. We are all using alien tech to talk to each other right now. I don't know if you would say computers are, but I know they said back in the day that the Roswell crash, this is where we got our fiber optics from, which we use a lot these days, especially with cable, internet, and so on and so forth. Communications pole to pole, of course. And fiber optics is big time. You can put a lot of information in light. Amangagna 68. Hello, Chris. I really enjoy your videos. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Exactly, Mimi. And of course, Kyle was also answering to you. You said, don't forget the signal that repeats every 16 days. Yeah, to me, this is not a fluke, man. This is communication from one part of the galaxy to the other part of the universe or whatever. Like I said, the guy, and I forget his name, there was from SETI. He's saying, it doesn't make any sense because, that one over there is like 256 million, light years away. Well, this one here is only 25 million. What the hell does that even mean? That's like being on a CB going, well, that guy's only a mile away, and that guy's over there, he's like 14 miles away, so clearly he's an alien, but he's not. What the hell does that even mean? You can't say that. It's flashes of light, it's signals, and that's the whole key. You can put a lot of information through light, and if they're receiving on the other end of this light, all kinds of information, like within a flash, quantum communications, stuff like that. Boom, they can get it just like that. Instantaneous X amount of whatever, how much gigs or megs or trillions of gigs, whatever, of information. And it could very well be that. It's a little odd that nature would do that, or the universe would do that. Every 16 days, this signal repeats itself. How much you guys heard about that lately? What's going on there, Lucky Mo? You said, I suspect there is advanced tech in the ruins of Mars, and there could be teams of special ops already there picking through it, just like the TV show Stargate. Exactly. Could very well be. You know darn well, if they actually did, back in the day, go back to the Viking lander, right? If you go back to the Viking lander, and the camera was out, and they seen high tech then, darn well they're going, listen, we've been to the moon, let's try it there. Let's get there. And there'll be people out there that will do it just to say, listen, just like the astronauts to the moon, it was one large step for man. So why not take the chance? And some people were willing to, die for that chance to go and check this stuff out. So did that happen? Don't know. It's pure speculation. But doesn't mean it didn't happen. Craig McCauley, appreciate your support, man. He said, what's up, Chris? Man, I miss your live chat. So no more Mars. Sorry, have to catch up. Oh, okay. Well, it's good to see you back in there, man. Been a while, I think, you've been in there, hasn't it? Well, again, I appreciate your support, man. Let me jump all the way down to the bottom here. So if I missed any of you guys' questions or comments, just go ahead and repeat it there. I'm trying to get down here so you guys won't like, oh, why don't you read my what do you call it? My post. Yeah, it's incredible. They were saying there was something else too. There was I think it was different metals they had used. He said that's amazing. I didn't know that about Roswell. That's what they were saying. That was just one of the things that they said probably come off the technology. From the crash of Roswell. So, yeah. Kyle, you said you can have millions of information in the crystal skulls. Yeah, those are pretty wild, huh? Those crystal skulls, those are neat. Of course, they did have knockoffs of them. Some people were trying to, oh, yeah, it's real. But those are neat. The real McCoys, those are nice. They have that weird kind of prism look to them when you put light through them and everything else. Mimi reaction, I would go if I could. I would. Well, my wife wasn't too happy about it. Really? You're just going to leave us? I said, well, how many times can somebody say you want to go to Mars? She said, well, what happens if it's a one-way? I said, well, I'd probably want to go if they was a two-way. Yeah. But you can almost bet if they said, would you like to go? Okay. Fill me in. And now if they said, if you asked them, I heard or I seen there's ancient ruins on there, and they go, yeah. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to go. Not really, we can bring our own structures and have them 3D built like they want to do. They want to have basically robots go 3D build, structures for our, we'll call them astronauts because that's what they are, people that go to Mars, and they're going to live in those. But there might be a lot more structures over there that they can still live in. I'd go there in a heartbeat because darn well you're going to want to see that. Even if you were to get killed off by some indigenous creature or just die there, it'd still be well worth it to see it. Some people would disagree. And I get that. Josh D, you said, I'll take a single trip, no question. Let's have a barbecue on Mars. Sounds cool. Alien Believer, you said they're not helping the government for our good, and both sides of the government are your enemy. I think, if anything comes out of it, we're getting a trickle-down technology, like microwave ovens, so on and so forth. Now, a lot of these things, like computers, if you've seen the very first computer, you'd have more in, this phone than a whole wall of computers back in the day would. It'd be like 2 rooms of computers or all kinds of equipment to make up just one of these iPhones kind of things. It was just crazy because they were basically hybrids, right? They were tubes. They were, solid state stuff. There was, very crude junk. And then, of course, became the IC, the integrated circuit, which is like basically little tiny IC chips and everything else. And they were able to shrink everything way down. Yeah, hell, even back in the 1980s, it was like basically a watch this big, maybe twice the size of it. It was a TV screen back in the 80s. So you can imagine the equipment and stuff they have now. It's so microscopic, like the little drones and all kinds of weird shit going on. You can bet that, believe me, if they thought about it, they probably built it. You can almost bet on it. Timothy Ryan, what's going on? He said video audio from Mars. Yeah, that would be sweet. Yep. Steve Pullman, you said, isn't there too much radiation in Mars to live there? If you live within the magnetic fields that cover parts of the planet, you'd be safe. Now, if you're not, then not so safe. This is the reason why a lot of these people, if there was anybody left on Mars today, they'd probably be underground. maybe like in the morning they'd come out, or and then go back underground or whatever. But if you have, because there's only sporadic areas of the magnetic field around Mars, and if you're, like I said, if you're under that field, then chances are you're good. You'd be safe, and that may be the areas that they're in. I'd have to look that up, but you can almost bet on it. They're not going to pick out a place where, hey, let's bring some astronauts and hope they get baked on the on the Martian surface. So yeah. Oh, let me see. The Space 1999 comm lock was the bomb. Noodles. Oh yeah. Gotta love stuff like that. Elaine Walls, I see you talking to Ian Wentworth. You said Brian Foster has an excellent channel on lost ancient high technology and the elongated skulls of Paracas. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got a really good channel. I watch it every now and then. I follow his work, but I don't watch it all the time. But yeah, every time I do watch it, it's just awesome. Some of the stuff he shows. Yeah, Mimi, you said I'm convinced we are watched by other alien races. They're just waiting for us to mess up in space. Well, like I said, if you look at the Space Treaty Act or whatever it was, they were saying like, we're gonna just basically not gonna mess with you guys unless you stop bringing your basically war out in space, and that's a big no-no. So. Yeah, I believe they have been for years. I mean, even ancient civilizations were claiming they've seen things flying across the sky and all kinds of other stuff. So even back in thousands of years ago, they've been here. It's almost like they're going, well, look at this little primitive group of people on this little planet. Let's go ahead and watch them, and we'll see how they progress, how they evolve, and see if they kill each other off. Because I'm sure a lot of, we're going to say alien cultures or humanoids or whatever they may be in other parts of the galaxy or the universe where they've had their time, where they had a bunch of war and killed themselves off, or not completely, but then started over and said, well, let's not make that same mistake. So that's why I was saying if they decide to make Mars, a civilization on Mars, then you can bet they're going to throw out everything that we ever done wrong on this planet and do like they, just basically say, okay, this is all a no-no. We will not do this again like we did on Earth. That was a big mistake. Let's not do it here. So like I said, it's, they'll make changes if they start a civilization there or any other planet, right? What's going on there, Mike Hoover? So what's up, Chris? Chat? Oh, Chris Cat. He said, what's up, my brilliant peeps? What's happening, Mike? Good to see you in there. Clerks 93, you said, but I feel like it is more difficult to construct a wall at Machu Picchu because each stone block is different crazy shape. Yeah, and you see the way they put it together, right? Like they had this melting technology and able to kind of like Jenga the thing together. It's just crazy how they put that stuff together. Exactly, Elaine Walls. You said I took a computer class in 1991. You had to insert a DOS floppy disk. Remember them things? Oh my God, sad. But look how much we progressed. Now, don't get me wrong, the government's probably had a lot better technology than the average person did in their household back in the day, right? So, because we had computers way back in, what was it, back in the 80s. I mean, they were just simple little things, but still had them, right? Lance Miss Blanco, what's up? What's going on, man? It's good to see you in there. Timothy Ryan, you said never knew there was a high radiation danger on Mars. Yeah, there are, depending on where you're at, like I said, there's certain areas that you can, like Noodle said, like basically magnetic umbrellas, and that's what protects us from the solar radiation. Here on Earth, we have a magnetic field around the Earth. Well, Mars, according to NASA, only has sporadic parts of it. So if you're under that area on the lunar surface, on the Martian surface, you're safe. You can be pretty much protected from it, right? I agree with you. Photography like Matt. You said, although NASA tells us there's no magnetic field, but how do we know they aren't full of crap? There could be a civilization on surface, and they're just not telling us. Absolutely. Even if there wasn't one thriving, let's say there was nothing alive in there except maybe critters or organic life. Okay. That, I don't know why they would hide that part, but then they're going to hide that and say, well, there's really nothing, because if they start to say, we got better pictures now of this organic life, they're not going to be able to show anything else anymore, because you can bet that the civilization that they're picking through right now, or what's left of it, they're going to go, yeah, we can show all of this organic life, but look what's all laying all over the place in front of it. Yeah, we're going to have to not do that. So, you can bet they're not going to do that. And, like I said, to me, I don't think it would matter. Now, I guess it would have a great impact on a lot of people, I guess, depending on who you are, right? To people like us, we'd be like, yeah, that's awesome. Tell me more. To other people, might frighten them. Lucky Mo, you said, could aliens, spies be among us? I mean, aliens who look like humans could infiltrate our society, which I used to think sounds like sci-fi, but now I wonder. Oh, yeah, I mean, if they look a lot like us, or if they can change their appearance, because let's say they're so far ahead of, and this is just pure speculation, but if they are truly way ahead of us, and they can kind of like almost like morph or look just like us, or they do, in fact, just look like us, why not? They could walk amongst us all day long, and you wouldn't even know it. Because who would be thinking, let me just look around and see if there's any aliens around me? It's like, they're not likely going to do that, right? Kyle, the pansy-ass people would be frightened. Me and you would be like rock stars, like I told you so, and I knew they were lying. Yeah, absolutely. We'd be like, see, told you so. Oops. I hate it when this damn thing jumps up like this. Arts and Crafts, you said there's a lot of ancient carvings, especially Hindu ones, where they have a tool that was used to somehow, using vibrations, move the rocks where they wanted them, and believe that this is a lost technology. Well, I mean, if you look at now, we have different vibrations. They use an oscilloscope or a signal generator or whatever, and that they would bring it up to a certain frequency and get things to levitate. They do it now. So is it possible that back in the day they knew that? I think they did. Maybe they didn't have a machine to do it, maybe something electronic, but maybe they're able to just like rub things together, certain things, and can make a vibration. Who the hell knows? We just automatically think that, it's got to be some kind of, I'm just going to be silly about this, but some kind of ray gun and pick it up and move it. We don't know that. We automatically make the assumption that it may be high technology. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe there's a way they could do it and still levitate things and move things and melt things. Who knows? Chris here, you said a TV show a few years back claimed to have found evidence of nuclear explosions where Sodom and Gomorrah was located. Rocks and cliffs were fused together. Yes, it was basically all glass, right? You take sand, heat it up, it becomes glass. So that's what it was, like all shiny like glass, melted glass on the ground. Absolutely. Divine Catalan says, I believe there are entities on the moon. Yeah, I believe it too. Now, whether they come and go or they actually stay there, that's a different story. But just going by what our astronauts have found on the moon and what we're finding in these photos, a lot of this stuff looks like it's been there, it was left there, and off they went. They never stayed. Like maybe there was a war on the moon at one time. Like some ancient civilizations talk about that, where there was some kind of war on the moon. And that's crazy. But, you know, for us to prove that, it would be almost impossible, right? But going by what they said there was like, you know, these races that were actually warring on the moon. And from some of the things I've seen, it looks like they're up there looking at stuff that was left there. It's dilapidated or whatever it may be. And it's just there in ruins or whatever. Or looking at other stuff much more advanced and it's not ruined. One of the two. Pete Ferrer, you said bio-robots would be my bet. Yeah, something, you know, like a hybrid human being, right? Where it doesn't have to worry about whatever air that it breathes or anything like that, but yet it still functions like you and I, and you'd never know the difference. That could be a possibility. Kyle, you said because of the proof is in the pudding, you can put all the pieces together, and it all makes sense. It all comes together if you're intelligent. True. Alien Tenno, you said Russia is sending a probe to the moon's dark side. I'm not surprised. Hell, China's doing it. Why not? I think they're finding a lot more stuff around the backside of that moon than you know people think. You know, they say, it's nothing but a lot more pot-mocked over there, man. It's just more, you know, craters and everything else. I don't think that's the case. It'd be the perfect place because it's tightly locked. It'd be a perfect place to have bases on it. And they could have been there for millions of years. All I had to do is just come around. All they're going to do is, let's say, here's the Earth and here's the moon. They just fly from the backside of it, come back in through the backside of it. In other words, never be exposed or being seen by the people back in the day. Now with people with telescopes looking and scrutinizing the moon, you can see some things flying on and off of the moon at times, right? So, and very rarely do people see that, but they do see it at times. So, yeah. There you go, Humobots. Noodles, yeah. Grant McGowan, good to see you there, man. He said, sorry I'm late. Just got back from work. Hope you are okay. I'm doing good, man. It's all good there. Good to see you there, Grant. Lanceman Blanco, he said, Chris, looks to me at least 3 different types of architecture on the moon. Well, I mean, I see what looks like, it almost looked like one area had like structures and it looked like had like some kind of spaceships or something like just laying there, just laying on their side, just either that they were just funky looking structures, one of the two, right? And there's all kinds of parts and pieces just laying on, almost like it was exploded. That's the best way to, you know, say it. Or stuff looked like it just landed or just crashed there and just stayed there for millennia. I mean, it's just, that's it. That's the best way to describe it. Now, whether that's the scene, if that's what really happened or not, I don't know. It's just the way we see it. Yes, absolutely. Timothy Ryan, has anyone ever admitted to working on scrubbing Mars photos? No, but there's people that have said that they have seen them actually do it. Whether it's actually literally using marker to make shadows, like artificial shadows to go over things. And back in the day, like I said, they used to use an acetate and they'd drop it over the original photo and they'd just draw over whatever they want. And then they would just like take another photo of that acetate with the markers, whatever they wanted to take out, and then take a picture again. And then, of course, you would get this, you know, these photos, or they would do it directly onto the photo. Either way, they were manipulating these photos back in the day. Michael, you said our moon is littered with massive intelligent structures and technology. NASA didn't go up there just to study rocks and haven't stopped going. Yeah, I believe that. And we've talked about this before where absolutely believe that they kept going even after, Apollo 17. Some people think Apollo 18 was real. I don't know either one. I'm on the fence about that one, where they supposedly found the Mona Lisa. Not sure, but I believe they wouldn't stop. They just kept going after the fact. They just didn't tell the public because, okay, you're going to go up there. They did land in different spots of the moon, no doubt. But, okay, you're going to find rocks. You're going to find dust. You're going to find rocks. You're going to find dust. Okay, how much millions and millions of dollars in lives you're taking the chance with to just go up there and find rocks and dust? I don't think that's the case. They might have just said, they could have just sent a robot up there and just hoped the thing could grab some rocks and dirt and have it just come right back to Earth. Why couldn't they? If they could do the same thing getting people back to Earth, why couldn't they do the same thing? Have a robot pick up like a bunch of soil, put it on board, take off again, just like the other, like have a lander come down, and there's a two-part, have a hand come out, grab a bunch of rocks, put it inside, some soil, put it inside, and then leave the bottom, the landing pod, take back off like they had the astronauts in, come back to Earth, steer its way into the ocean and land just like it did with the astronauts. Why couldn't they have done the same? It just makes no sense. That's why I'm saying they were up there for much more than that. If they want, look at what the Soviet Union did. They sent up the Lunokhod rovers. They didn't send a man up there, but yet they took samples. It drove for I think it was 6.5 miles. They didn't send anybody up there, but yet it took a lot of pictures. I think it took some samples. There you go. Lanceros Blanco, he said, you have to go and look deeper with a microscope eyepiece on photography. Digital media is no good. You can only see the big stuff. You will get freaked out if you look deeper. Absolutely. Again, taking a closer look at these pictures and bringing out what's really in them kind of freaks you out when you see some of the stuff. You go, wow, if they're actually seeing that and how large are these things that are standing there where these astronauts are, wow, that's just cool. Raphael PNS, you said, not the other word, but PNS. Asteroids are coming. Yeah, they just talked about one coming. I don't remember the name of it. You guys probably can tell me more than what I can remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, we got one that's coming. It's not going to hit Earth, of course, but it'll do a flyby, right? Elaine Walls, thank you for your support. I do appreciate you. Love these chats. Everyone here is amazing. And we all love and appreciate you, Chris. Well, I love you guys as well, man. And I really mean that. This is just cool because, again, it's kind of it's like going to an actual building, right? Where people just gather in and they just talk about all the things that maybe you guys have studied over the week because we do a weekly, right? So you've seen things, you checked it out, and we're all talking about different topics and everything else. It's like sitting down at this huge round table and just having this huge discussion. That's what I love about it. You guys are awesome, and that's just the way I feel about it. That's why I love doing these. And it sucks sometimes when I can't. But it happens. Like at work, here's a perfect example. We usually have a truck on Thursday. We usually have 3 of them a week. Well, it's supposed to be on Thursday, but today we had it. So the actual warehouse is moving the times up. So instead of having one tomorrow, we won't have one tomorrow. Now it'll be on Sunday. We said, well, the hell with it. We're not coming in. It's only going to be X amount of pieces. Let the other people that are there take it off the truck, and we'll handle it Monday. But it's so screwed up, you just don't know. So if you guys see me cancel one because of this weird thing come up, I hope you guys understand. It's not like I mean to, because I like doing these. These are cool. Josh D says, there's still more viewers than likes. Come on, people. Yeah, where we at? 114 watching, 85 thumbs up. Come on, guys, hit that thumbs up if you haven't already hit the likes button. Hit that bad whamma jamma. Again, Elena, I appreciate your support. Alice Asteroid is breaking up. They're still on the way. Yeah, I've seen that, and I don't remember the other name of the other one. But that's pretty cool. Adam, he said, have you seen Unexplained Mysteries latest stuff with the moon that looked like UFOs. No, I don't think I've seen that. It'd be cool if you had a link to it. We could check it out. Oops. Renee Vaughn, you said Comet A, or Atlas, is therefore dangerous in 4 pieces. Yeah, because you get a lot more pieces there, right? Paul Merlo, you said, Chris, your Lunicod video of our moon found some tremendous structures. Yeah, it's the things that they're hiding in the background, right? It's just like they're doing on Mars, where you have that Mount Sharp in the background. That's bogus. Absolute bogus. It's to give you a depth, mess with your depth perception and make it look like, oh my God, that's a mountain. It's so far off. It's not. Like the video or the gigapan we looked at yesterday, which was Rock Nest area, is not very big at all. And when you look at the traverse map, in fact, we can look at it here. I've got it here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on this and lodge the hell out of it if we can. You can see right here, Rock Nest is way at the very beginning. Right here, you see Yellowknife Bay right here at the top right. You got Glen LG. You got this one that's first started off. It said Bradbury Landing. And, of course, it's way down here now. And if this is past this, by the way, because this only goes up to solve 1281. It's past that. But you can see where it's at. All of these, like Maria's Pass, all of these are very short little... You can have 2 giant rocks sitting right in front of the road. That's considered a stop. So these things are not very big like people think they are. And that background is absolutely bogus. You guys called it yourself. You said, man, that looks so damn fake. And it is. It's not that it's fake per se. They're overlaying a CGI over the stuff they don't want you to see. And like a lot of the things we looked at, a lot of that stuff didn't look natural, did it? And I'm going to show you another photo pretty soon there where I promise you guys, I said we'll take a look at that one real quick because there's a couple of small little anomalies in that's pretty wild. That kind of scream intelligently made, right? Jason McVeigh, good to see you in there, man. He said, hello, Chris. Hello, everyone. Good to see you in there. This thing just jumped on me here. Back up there. Anyway, good to see you in there, Jason. Divine Catalan says, I love everyone here. Well, we love you back. Miss Heard, yeah, you said Apophis is allegedly heading toward Earth, I guess you're saying, and impact. Well, that's what they say, but it wasn't that a long time off. I forget when they said that was supposed to either come by Earth or skim it or whatever. That was a few years off, wasn't it? Alien Believer says there was a fake moon landing and a real one. The real one they could not put on video to the world or did see the truth. They had to cut out too many. They had to get the world-famous producer. Well, that's what they're saying. Now, I don't care who produced it. I really could give a crap less. But the whole point to me is that they had made this fake one to show people, oh, yeah, ooh, ah. Like I said, they're doing rooster tails with the electric, the rovers, like throwing lunar dirt in the air. And you can see they're just spinning it all. They're playing golf. They're throwing things. They're having a great time. They're giggling and laughing, having a good old time. But when they came back in their press conference, it says a whole different ball game. How is this possible? Can anybody tell me why that would be the difference? Why they're having a great time on the moon, and when, according to at least the live video they showed us, was that everything went on without a hitch. Pretty much, they came unscathed. Everything was fine. Came back. Everything was great. They had a great time up there. Came back totally somber. How do we go from having a great time, biggest step since man, to the moon, and all of a sudden, doesn't make any sense, does it? So that's how you know there's 2 sides to that. One was probably a fake, and one was the actual real deal. And they didn't go up there for rocks and dust. I can promise you that. Alien Tenno, you said when NASA was bombing the moon looking for water, do you think that they were saying to aliens, guess what, we're smarter now and we're coming back? No, but some people speculate that they actually took out some kind of structure that was there so people couldn't see it. Because think about this now. Back in the day, they probably didn't give a damn, right? Because nobody really had a telescope, unless you were an observatory. And even then, you probably couldn't see them that great. But now the people are seeing much more powerful telescopes. Even the ones you and I could buy are a lot better now. And they're probably worried about we're going to start seeing a lot of this. This is the reason why I think they went through a lot of the other moon photos back in the day. They're going through them now to like digital overlay them, and they look so much more washed out and whitish out, and you name it. They've totally screwed these photos. I have, I've showed videos where there's two different photos where this one here came from, it was really like a first generation or second generation. The other was like a fourth generation, totally washed out compared to that one there. Now, this one here was manipulated, but this one here is completely washed. Yeah, because they know people now are scrutinizing the hell out of them. They don't want to see that. That's the last thing they want to see. Tim Houston said there's something fishy about the Apollo missions. I'll leave it at that. Well, you're right about that. There is. And, Ian, that's what they were saying, that, Stanley Kubrick actually supposedly made a film of it, and that's what we saw as the public, right? But like I said, okay, the way they portrayed it was like they had a great time. They did their job while they were up there. Okay, so what happened when they came back? It just doesn't make sense. Totally changed. Mr. Gossman says, hey, what's happening? Exactly, Grant. That's what we were just talking about. You said, what are your thoughts on the Apollo press briefing? Remember that one? How weird was that? They were so depressed. Clearly, they saw something they could not talk about. Exactly. That's what we were just talking about. And the funny thing about it, like I said, you can just see them. I mean, they were just, they're literally sitting in their chair going like this. They got their heads down. They're like, yeah, we didn't. And remember when they said, do you guys see any stars? I don't remember seeing stars. No, I don't think we've seen any. They're looking at, everybody's going, oh, it's fake. No, it wasn't fake. Think about it. Would you be there looking at stars or something that was put there by an alien race? What would be more frickin' important to you? Not the frickin' stars, I guarantee you that. So, yeah, this is the reason why they probably went, stars? That was the last damn thing on their mind. And besides, you can see stars sitting here on Earth. What's the big deal to them? They're like, okay, we went out into space. We saw stars while we were there. When we got on the moon, we had a job to do, and it wasn't looking at rocks and soil. We were looking at something much more insane, and they were still trying to get their minds wrapped around it. And this is the reason why I think we saw the way they were acting. I really do believe that. Mimi, you said, I wonder if astronauts today would react the same way. That's a great question because if I was an astronaut today and I've seen, let's say they covered it with them. They said, like the older astronauts said, this is what you're going to see, so on and so forth. Still getting in front of these things would be insane because of the size. Just the way you look at these things like, oh my God, knowing that nothing here on Earth made them, you still have to be in awe. Like your mind would not be able to wrap your mind around it. Then the sheer size of maybe some of these things would like totally blow your mind. And you couldn't wrap your mind around it. I believe that. Jack Lambert, you said, and they have lost thousands of images. How the hell did they lose NASA images? Lies. Exactly. Well, they already got what they needed. They probably took them all and put them all in a digital format, and they just threw all of them out and burned them, just so they don't get into hands of people. So they didn't lose them. They lost them purposely. Like, go ahead and incinerate those. And they probably put them all in digital, and they kept them on some kind of hard drive or something like that, something that's, highly protected and whatever. And besides, it wouldn't matter at this point. They're probably still going back and forth there as we speak. How the hell do we know? They don't need that garbage laying around. They got a lot better technology, cameras, communications. They can talk with each other and say, hey, look at this. Like, let's say this is their camera. They're just looking at like, okay, we're on the moon right now. Okay, what do you guys would think about this is, particular thing? Oh, wow, it's pretty cool. Come on. They don't need that ancient junk. But to say that they lost it, oh, we don't know what happened to it. Yeah, whatever. This damn thing keeps jumping here. Jack Lambert, you said the Space Force of today are covert black, and they will never speak of what they do. Oh, yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Paul Merlo, you said real purpose of the first moon landing was to fulfill conclusion of the 1958 International Geophysical Year. not to race the Russians there. There's a false flag cover story. Well, that's a that's a false flag rather. I've always said that there's a lot of these elites from these space programs, right? Whether it be back in the day Soviet Union, or even today ESA, NASA, all of these space. The people who can actually launch into space and have been to Mars and put orbiters there, like Russia has. You never heard another word about them, but they sent one over there to orbit around Mars as well. So you got India, you got, obviously the United States, you got Russia, you got all these countries that are contributing or going. So they're saying, okay, we'll just keep it amongst ourselves. And then, of course, there's the public side of these space programs, and this is what we see, and a lot of scientists see. But way above that, I promise you, they're seeing a lot more than just that. Alan Polby says, is it possible to see stars on the bright side? No. It's like trying to see stars right now in daylight. How would you do that? Now, when it comes to dusk, sure. You start to see one peek out, like the brightest star, whether it be Mercury, Mars. You can see Mars, which got their orangey tinge. You can see these stars as it gets to dusk or dawn. During the pure daylight, no, you're not going to see any stars. So, they say that the moon is highly reflective. I don't know about highly reflective, but it'd be like daylight here on Earth. So why would you see stars? John Evans, you said, I'm back. What did I miss? Any weirdos or nutcases? Nah, we're good. We're good. Pete Ferrero, he said, no geologist until Mission 17 says it all. Yeah. Well, according to them, like I said, they were just supposed to just, gather a few things, put them in that silver little briefcase and bring it back, right? Bull. I don't believe that for a minute. Again, that may be the PR side of it, right? We're going to bring back the rocks, tell everybody, look what we found. This is awesome, isn't it? Isn't this cute? And, of course, they, some people said they claimed that it was BS, that the rocks were like petrified wood and other stones you could find here on Earth. So, yeah, I think it was a bunch of crap. It was a cover-up. That's all it was. Lester Addison, you said it's been 50 years and there's something there and we're scared, simple as that. Well, it could very well be. Or let's suppose there's nothing on that planet, or on the moon rather. Let's suppose there's nothing on there, meaning any kind of anything living. Just the sheer stuff that they can find, the technology that they can pull out of these things, or whatever's laying on the surface must be like insane. You could probably go there today, even though we're going, yeah, we got balls of steel. You go up there and you go, oh, just to see these things and go, wait a minute, this wasn't made by man? No man at all, right? And let's say they go, well, somehow we were able to, check the data on these things and find out how old they've been there. And they've been there for thousands of years, maybe millions of years. Wow, that would totally blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. Lance Miss Blanco, the Samantha Cristoforetti incident, look for it on YouTube. Why does it sound familiar? Moonder06, Skywatcher, what's going on? Good to see you in there. He said, hello from France. Take care, Chris. Well, it's good to see you in there, man. Glad you popped in. Pete, you said everything space is international, except previous planned missions to the moon. Yeah, imagine that. Photography, light, and magic. I think India's Mars orbiter was made by cardboard stuck together and chewing gum. And well, the way I look at it is this. If you notice, they didn't show any more photos. Remember they were saying that once we get the orbiter there, we're going to take some high definition. They're going to be high quality photos. We're going to see it all, guys. We're going to show you all. And I remember that because I did, like I said, I stuck that photo that they had of Mars, and it was really large in the photo, right? And as soon as I started to break it down, the colors looked just like you'd see here on Earth. And then when you enhance it, meaning make it more brilliant, and the colors more brighter, it doesn't matter what color they were, because you had the blues, the browns, the greens, and you had an atmosphere. Well, I just slightly, increased the color of these, did a little more saturation, and my God, it looked just like here on Earth. All the colors you'd see here. And, but then all of a sudden, within, I don't know, I don't think it was a couple weeks, maybe even a month, let's call it a month, you go on their page, India's page, where's all these other photos? Even their own people saying, where the hell are these photos at? I think they had, what, a couple handfuls of photos? There was like 10, 12 photos. That was it. End of discussion. And that was the end of it. So what's that tell you? It's like, we're just going to orbit the Mars. And they took tons of photos, man. It's just like the MRO, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. We have basically mapped the whole damn planet out and seen everything there was to see on the planet. We don't have to have a lander or rovers all over Mars. We got an orbiter that could take pictures down to 4 feet on the ground. What the hell does that tell you? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was made out of garbage and stuff like that. But the thing is, to me, doesn't have to be really made of a whole lot of, well, to a certain degree it does, right? But you see what we have out in space, the satellites we have. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just send it there, boom, orbit it, take pictures, you're ready to go. And right off the bat, I think they just said, well, there's too many people scrutinizing our photos. Let's go ahead and not make any more to the public. That's what it came down to. Kind of like what happened with China when they sent their rover to the moon. Same thing. It had a problem. It couldn't shut its solar panels, therefore it's kaput. That's the end of that. When there was ham operators here on Earth said, well, wait a minute, they're full of crap because we can still hear it pinging. When it pings, it's saying, I'm okay. I'm still alive here. I'm good. And yet they said, oh, well, wait a minute. And then it wasn't like a couple weeks. It was like a week or two later. It said, we got it back online. It's good, but we're not going to show the public any more photos. Imagine that. It's going to go on with the scientific studies, it said. But that's pretty much it. What's there to scientifically study? What are you going to study? It's rocks and dust. Come on. Adam, I don't see the link. It says, here's that link. I didn't see the link. Pitiful Pearl says, hey, everyone, what's going on? No, that's not it, William. This is the one we're going to check out right here. This one here was on Facebook on the Martian Genesis page. And this guy, San Kotvics, it's Kotvics, had put this on there. He put one thing on there, but I noticed something small, not as clear, and it looks like it's also intelligently made. So we're going to check this out right now. And, there's only a few things in this, but nonetheless, it's still pretty cool. And this is from Neville Thompson. And you guys will also get the link to that. You can also just look it up at MSL 2734 to 2736. So we get 2 days of photos stitched together. So he does great work on this kind of stuff. But let's go in there. This is what he showed on Facebook. So this is not my find, which I find really interesting. This piece right here. Let's make this full screen. Let it focus back down. Check that out. Looks like there's a lot more going on there than just rocks, right? The way the side of this thing goes. And has these levels of this right here. What do you guys think of that? I'm just going to back up a little bit. We don't want it too grainy. Yeah, Ian, I agree with you. You said $1 billion rover crap cameras, really? Yeah, and they're capable of, believe it or not, high definition video as well as regular photos. We never see either one. I've never seen an HD photo unless it's up close to a rock outcropping. And in other words, they're not showing the background. They're just showing right there, right then, crystal clear. With the Marley cam, it's nice and close up. It looks great. No problems whatsoever, right? Yeah. Now, you'll see this, guys. This is in the midst of a lot of fake sand. This is absolutely insane. You can see right here. They've just the way they do this is just weird. But you got this rock here, right here in the middle, and the one off to the left. Look at this. It almost looks like some weird shape like a sewing machine. It's got a base to it, and then it's got the top big part to it. Now, I'm not saying that's what it is, but you get the idea, right? Look at this. What? Yeah, just look at the way this thing looks, guys. This is crazy, right? Yeah, Alien. Yeah, Neville does some good work. Um, does some really good stuff. But he's limited to the photos he's getting too, right? He tries to use the real raw photos, the best of the best if he can. That's not always the case. You don't always get that, so you end up with some of these crap ones, right? Well, I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can find straight lines in nature, of course. You get the the layer of rocking and stuff like that. I get that, but the way this thing is made, come on, look at this. I'm gonna zoom right into that. Look at the side of this coming up. It's flat across the top, comes down into the straight in the front, and you got these perfect, almost perfectly spaced too. Look at them. See that? Like perfectly spaced. It's one thing, they're kind of like not perfect. They're just kind of random. You go, oh, okay, this chances out it's rocks. Well, come on. You're right about that, Pete. Yeah, you said the sand cover is shameful. John, you even said rocks. Yeah, right. So obvious. Yeah, well, if we were to, back out a little bit here, there's something right here. It's kind of like squared off, but it's like hidden by this other stuff. See this right here in the middle? Right there. Right there, that's kind of weird and has this almost like a rounded piece. But then you got this weird, I don't know what this stuff is here, like drawing crap over it. But you can see whatever that is. It literally goes like this. It's rectangular in shape. Almost looks like it has this weird netting coming off of it. You can see it's like crisscross pattern. See that? The pattern on there is pretty weird. I agree with you, photography like magic. You said all that sand is CGI. Yeah, pretty much. I'll tell you, there's another part in here. This is pretty weird. Okay, it's supposed to be some kind of weird rock in the back, right? What I noticed about this, I'm going, okay, I see this, what looks like this, almost like tombstone shape to it, right? It's got that kind of comes up like this here, goes over to the top, almost looks flat at the top, comes back down. What I'm intrigued with is the line that's inside traces the same shape. Can you see that real fine line right here? I'm trying not to go in too close because then it distorts the line as well. But you can see it coming up, goes like this, goes around, goes across the top just like the actual outer top does, and then comes back down. Why is there a faint line that's I shouldn't say imitating, but it actually going the same shape as the outer shape of this piece? Like it has depth in it, and it's been made like that. Like almost like a plate, right? It's got, it comes up on the edges, but and then goes down to the lower part of the bowl, right? Well, it's kind of like the same thing here. You got this outer edge, goes straight across, comes back down. It's got this angle at the right-hand side and the top. But the inside line, this faint line, actually is the same shape. Like it's actually, it's got some depth to this thing. What do you guys think of that? Not sure what this in the lower right is either. It's kind of a nice straight piece, and then comes down nice and straight on the other side. So we get this angle, this 90-degree angle sitting here in the dirt. And you can see this fake dirt. This is sad. Look at this. That is sad. Oh, you're right about that, John. You said people need to keep in mind alien tech or structural engineering probably doesn't look like ours. Or there may be a lot of similarities, but still, they probably won't be exact, right? So whatever we're looking at here, that is just weird. Like I said, when I see the outside shape of this thing, and then we got an inside line that is actually going to the same shape, that doesn't make any sense. So it's telling me this thing's like almost like a bowl type thing. It has sides on it, and it has a little bit of depth, like it sinks in it. That just, to me, that looks intelligently made. Now, if you were to just look at this thing and, oh, wow, look at the pretty rocks, you wouldn't think nothing of it, right? Let me see if I can find this other piece. This one's hard to find. It should be right here, this piece. I can find this. It's very hard to see it, but when you do, right here, I'm going to put it right here in the middle. Look at this piece right here. It's very faint line. It goes like this here. Now, I believe there's a stitch line right here, so that's okay. But check this out. What looks like a dark feature, a round circle, and has what looks like the octagon shape, at least half of it, right here in the dirt. You got straight up, has this point, goes across, angles up to the right, another point, angles down to the right, on the other side. What do you guys think of that? I'm going to zoom way in. Of course, it's distorted on my page, on my monitor, rather. And I got a high-def monitor. But let me just back up a little bit and check that out. Why does this have these two corners with straight lines and it has that piece there, right? Mimi, I don't think they're that big, to be truthful. I don't think these things are that big at all. And lately we've been finding things like that where they don't look very, a lot of these things don't look very big at all. I'm saying less than a foot in width or height or whatever they may be, whatever we're looking at. I don't think they're that big at all. Kyle, you said it looks like a footstool. Again, appreciate your support, man. Yeah, it kind of, our minds will play games as far as what we think this stuff may be. That's why I say, oh, pareidolia. But to me, we don't have to call it, anything. We could just say intelligently made. And that's it. Actually, done. I mean, because to me, I don't think that looks normal right here in the middle. Again, that round circle, and it's right on this stitch line. You see the stitch lines going just like this down here. But they got this straight line going up. Again, angle from here up to the right, to the top. And then you get that point at the top, and then it drops down to the right of it. That, to me, looks like it's, and you can see it's got sides to it right here. Right there on this, and you see how it has this corner, and it goes like this here to darker side? It's got some kind of, I don't know, features in it. That it doesn't look normal at all to me. Matt Brereton, you said this, he says, yes, I saw that one. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. But sometimes when I look at these photos, I don't, I'll give credit to where credit's due. In other words, again, that first find, that big one, that was mine, and I'll tell you straight up. But then there's a lot of times these guys miss some of the stuff that's sticking out. It's like, boom, they just don't see it, and that's fine, because still going to bring their work out and tell them, who actually said it. Again, it was this Sam Kotviks, and he was on Martian Genesis, and he posted this on 420. So, and it was this Gigapan, of course. So he gets full credit for that, not me. But nonetheless, I wanted to show it to you guys, and of course give him credit for that. But this piece here, I don't think that was even seen. You got this piece right here. It looks like this wishbone kind of thing going on. So it's got this arch type shape, and goes straight up, and then goes off to the back. It looks like it goes up and there's an angle to it. See that? What do you suppose that is? Alien Tenno. And NASA will one day release a puddle of water on Mars, and everyone will lose their shit. Meanwhile, we'll all be thinking, you do know there's fish in that puddle, right? Exactly. Mimi, you said I once found a square tile carved into a wall. Yeah, I've seen many things like that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don Evans, you said could be crash sites of previous Oumuamua, depending on how you pronounce it. Just in the example that some probes are meant to look like rocks. Well, yeah, true. Somebody said that before. They said, well, maybe these are like failed missions, which is a very good possibility, and we're finding parts of that. But what's the chance of finding, there's so many pictures that we found something in it. I don't believe that's the case. Now, I'm not saying that could not happen. Of course it could. I'm just saying that I don't think that's the case in a lot of the things we're finding. It looks like a square block way back in the back here. Oh, that may not be. Hold on. It might be no, we got a stitch line right here. I was going to say it looks squared off right there, but you can see a stitch line. Almost looks like this weird, almost looks like a pipe type feature right here. See it? It's got a small line right there too. Right there. Almost looks like it's got a docking detail there. That's the end of that thing, like almost like a pipe type thing. See that? Look at this thing. What the hell is that? Oh yeah, this is definitely something right here. You can see it's white. It's not. They threw this orange over, but there's something white right there. Look at the way this thing looks. I wish this was sharper. Right there, and it's some kind of looks like it has ribs to it, like it's going across. Has this flat top. Looks like a small round circle right there with a dot in the middle. You have a piece coming down like a rib to it coming down like this. There's another one right here. And there's another one bulging out here in the front. See that? It's hard to tell what that is because it's not very sharp at all. What do you guys think of that? Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it there. The third eye open, you said the greatest stuff is the manipulation. Oh, yeah. Between that and a lot of this orange crap they put over everything. Look at that. I don't know what the hell that is. But again, it looks like it's got these ribs to it. There's 1, 2, and this piece bulging out here. And it's like, it's got a nice roundish shape to it. And you got it right here. But it is white. This piece is actually white, but they put this reddish all over it. Let me just back out a little bit so it won't be too distorted. What the hell that is? There's something right there. Where this rock is supposed to be. There's something gray right there sticking out of the end of this. Not sure what to make of that. Again, it doesn't have very good clarity, so you can't really just say, oh, well, it looks just like that. It's hard to tell. But yeah, you can see that all this gray in the back is complete trash. They're hiding a lot of this stuff. You can see that. This thing's sticking out right here. This white piece, look at this. Looks like a rectangular piece standing right out, kind of leaning off to the right. Yeah, put it right there in the middle of the page. Looks like it's got 2 or 3 white dots right in the center of it. Kyle, you said, can you break down the photo like you normally do, Chris? What do you mean, like in Photoshop? Well, we don't have it in Photoshop right now. We're just doing this live, meaning right from the actual site. But I mean, I may do that in the future where I can just put in there, show it, and just bring out these things better, pop them out for you. There's something right here. I don't know what that is. Looks like it's got this piece protruding out of the face of it. And you can see, look at the way this thing is. Look at this. It looks like it's rounded around this white piece protruding. You've got this rounded piece here. And then it goes up and over this black circle. It's almost flat topped. You can see that right there. Comes back down. It looks like it's doing the same thing on the other side. Rounded here on the right. Comes up. Flat piece over the top. Black circle. Comes back down over here and then rounded on the left-hand side of this. And it's long too. Whatever it is, pretty long from front to back. The hell is that? Ah, good water. Yeah. Photography Light Magic looks like a supercharger. That's what it looks like. Philosophy of Tool, what's going on? Yeah, Alien, you said for a red planet, Mars sure looks like it's brown. Pretty much. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Let me see here. You guys are going back and forth here, so. Kyle said, you're right. Nobody has the right to keep the information from us because our taxes are as paying their salary. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right? Look at this right here. This is funky looking. This elongated piece right here. Straight across, bends up. This goes straight across. And it looks like there's something dark, like some kind of detail at the very end of that. Pretty cool. What the heck do you make of that? What's going on there? What's going on there, Frack? Good to see you in there, man. Yeah, Pete, I seen that too. He said the extreme left corner looks mechanical pieces upper. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. I mean, there's so much. Geez, I mean, it's like you can see bits and pieces laying around, right? I like this out of nowhere. They just had this little dune just sitting right there. Yeah. Look in the back here. Let's give you guys an overall of this first. You see there's supposed to be a little hillside right here. Problem with going way back here is that it's hard to see anything really of any value. But look at this square piece way in the back. Nice 90-degree corner. Coming back down over here. And there's something on the top of it. I'm not sure if there's something behind it. But it looks like it's got some like little dark details on this thing. You guys see that? Matt, you said on some photos, I literally find things all day long. Zero chance results of coincidence. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. What's going on, the abs? 0303. Good to see you there, man. To me, I find that interesting, that piece there. Oh, yeah, absolutely fake dunes, Mimi. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you can just see so much. It kind of looks like somebody who, how did they put it last time? They said it looks like this spaghetti type manipulation. It does. It just kind of messes with your eyes because there's so many like squigglies and crap going all over the place, right? Yeah. What's this piece here? Not sure what the hell that is either. It's hard to tell. Looking weird looking shapes over here. Jack Labor, you said you're doing great work, Chris. We all thank you for this. The world needs to know. The only thing more obvious than the devastated ruin is the poor attempt to scrub the images like we are idiots. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, Jack. You know, it's really insulting because when you look at this stuff and, you know, you don't have to be a scientist. People like, what's your background? You got geological or some kind of, you know, something to do with anything like this. Do you have anything background? I don't need to. I don't care about the rocks. You know what I mean? Rocks are rocks. I could care less about that. What I'm looking at the things that are not rocks or things that are being hidden or made to look like rocks. That's what I'm interested in. I could care about that. I'd care less about the other stuff. I mean, just the rocks, you can see they've been like drawn over. They look like they're just CGI. I mean, they're just drawn over garbage. Look at this thing here. Got a just white square right here. You can see a nice smooth 90-degree angle. Little black dot right there. But look at the frame of this thing. Look at that. Is that natural? Comes up straight, slants over to the left and up. Nice flat top to it, this whiter piece. Comes back down. And you can see where they try to put something darker over this to try to hide that. I'm not sure what that is. What do you guys think of that? Third eye open, you said exactly, because anyone who has manipulated photos can see the very obvious attempts at covering objects up. Well, like I said, I seen this a long time ago, right? I seen how they tried to hide these objects, and I said, I got to make this, known to people. At first, a lot of people thought I was insane. They're going, what the hell would they manipulate a photo for? That just makes no damn sense. And I still got people asking me that. I go, listen, just look at the stuff yourself, and then you're going to have, even if you don't listen to a word I say, you're going to be scratching your head going, why does that object look like it's intelligently made as opposed to a rock? That makes no darn sense. Like I said, this piece right here alone. What the hell? That doesn't look natural to me. Again, flat-topped. It's kind of leaning over, to the left on the top. Comes straight down on one side, comes straight down on the other, on the right, and then has this little point and then drops down at another different angle. That's not a rock. I mean, it's all there is. It's all there is to it. Exactly, Alien. Yeah, sobering thought. We could be looking at the remnants of some poor soul's life. Oh, absolutely could be. Let's see what you guys can find in this area here. Just some of the pieces, look at the square piece right here, the whiter piece, completely square, something right smack dab in the center. Looks like it has a circle right here to the left of it and up. Not sure what this mess is right here. Not sure what this is here either. It's just a cluster of whatever that is. Looks like something flat right here. It's got this straight, kind of bulges out right here. Almost has this dark spot, almost like the letter D. It looks like, well, this might be, hold on, this is a stitch, I think, right here. That's why. But this may be actually more of a circle right there. But straight, bulges out right here. There's not a whole lot in this photo, but there are some crazy things in it. Go left to the edge of the butte. Let's see what we got. Yeah, look at this way in the background. Check this out. Top of the page. I'm going to try to put it in the middle right there. You can see like this rectangular area, and there's a middle piece right there, like a section, and another piece continues on, and then it stops. But you can see something right there. Look at this. Got a line right there. And you got this piece sticking straight out. What do you guys think of that? Now, these may not be nothing more than just shadows and stuff like that, but what? Yep, look at the back right here. Almost looks like it has a bridge right here or something like that. See this right in the back? Just right of that. Actually, I'm looking at this other piece now. That looks pretty insane. I showed you right here, the rectangular piece. And it looks like it's got a darker piece. Separation, another piece. You don't see the rest of it. But look right here. It looks like the whole thing is squared off. See that? Right side comes to the front. Here's the front of this piece right here. Goes off in the back like a giant square. And it looks like this thing standing up in the middle of that. You guys seeing the same thing? And then it almost looks like this bridge type thing across here. And it looks like there's a shadow underneath it. Or is that just trick of light? Which could be. But to me, this looks like some kind of weird foundation or something right here, way in the background. Where are you looking, Photography Light and Magic? Yeah, exactly. So you're talking about the one I'm just looking at, right? You got a link to that, Lance Miss? If you do have a link, go ahead and put the link in here if you can. Yeah, this to me looks like this weird structure way in the background. Like I said, again, it looks squared off right here to on the right, comes over in the front, goes in the back, and you can see the back line of the back of it, and it looks like something, all kinds of stuff standing in the middle or inside that square, right? Not sure what all that mess is over there either. Yeah, they did a good job of trying to cover all this stuff, I'll tell you that. Yeah, you can drop a link, Kyle. You can definitely drop a link on here. All you can do is go to the actual video itself and copy the URL at the top or the right there in the address bar. Copy it and then paste it right here in the where it says "say something." You can definitely drop a link. Something whitish right here too. See that? Along with that other piece right there in the center. And you get this little whiter piece right here. I don't know if you can see that. It looks weird. It's like this white piece, and it has this round black ring type thing right there in the face of it. Real hard to see it, though. It's sucky, what do you call it? Details, big time. Oh, Doc Chuck, yeah, there's no doubt about it. He said, I think the gray-colored sand is more likely painted sand, rather. Yeah, absolutely. Miss Heard, you said there are definitely structures in that background obfuscated courtesy of NASA. That's definitely no doubt about that. No doubt. Yeah, exactly, Pete. The background is a mess of manipulation. Oh, yeah, they cover so much stuff up. It's sad. And it's very frustrating, right? Not sure what that is. It's got like white pieces in that. I don't know, but I'm just looking at this. Look at these pieces sticking out of this so-called rock. Look at the shape of this thing standing up for starters. Then we get this white piece here. Another straight white piece right here. Looks like it's going into this piece. That is funky looking. Alien, yeah, copy and paste from the Hazara. Yeah, almost looks like that too. Yeah, and a lot of times that's what guys got to look through. You got to look through the actual color, and you got to look through the manipulation. And again, the lines are everything. Absolutely. Like, here's a perfect example. I'm looking at this right now. Look at this line. It's like this. There's a line that goes like this, kind of wavy right here, right? And then on top of it, it's got the same thing, almost echoing the same thing. Look at this. See those lines way in the background? And the one above it? And then there's the one above that. And this is supposed to be in sand, right? What's going on there, Sick Nick? Good to see you there, man. He said, have you checked out Jimmy Roberts' 3D pics? If so, what do you think? I thought some were pretty cool. Others I couldn't focus correctly. Yeah, it depends on the actual photo. But yeah, it is a good a way to actually check these things in 3D because it'll put the same identical picture, usually right, left. And then, of course, you just kind of cross your eyes a little bit and it'll become focused, almost like an in-depth. And he does a video on that same thing, that very thing, how to train your eyes, how to do that. And it's really, really cool the way he showed how to do that. Really cool stuff. I like it. When you look at it, you just have to get your eyes to focus into make the photo overlay onto the other, and then you have more depth to it. It is pretty cool. Yeah, what is this thing right here? Looks like this white pipe or something sticking out of this. Look at this right here, just under this gray here. Look at this. Not even sure what's to the left of that either. Photography Light Magic, he said, if you burn in that area, a structure would appear. You can almost guarantee it. Almost guarantee it. This is what I found amusing. Look at this. I've seen this too. Look at the way this side of this butte or hill. Look, it almost got a straight line. And look, it almost looks like these tile kind of things on here. Look at this. What is that? It almost looks like they took the rover and rolled up on it and then a wheel marks. But why would it do that? Look at this. Look at the line there. And it looks like these weird little patterns and stuff in the side of this hill. Why is it there? And then on the very edge of this right part looks normal. Or were they trying to hide something here? This white object right here. Look at these pieces in the back. There's one here. I'll put it right in the middle. Right there. And you get these three pieces. One on the top and the edge of this hill. You got what looks like excuse me. Kind of looks like this white piece. And it has this arch to it. Almost looks like a sledgehammer head to it right here. Just below it. And this other piece right here. What the hell are those three things? Yeah, these three things alone, like I said, it looks like it's got this arch thing. It's white, and it looks like it's got some depth to it, like it's got an opening type thing. And then you got this piece right here. Like I said, it almost looks like a sledgehammer type head to it. And whatever this white piece is right here, it's been colored over a little bit. Not sure what to make of that, but that's just sticking out of the sand. You guys think of that? Those three pieces. Another footstool. Could be. Miss Heard, you said where massive amounts of sand exist now, were once covered in oceans. I have found small seashells in the sand as a child living in Phoenix. Yeah, absolutely. I think whatever devastation it was on Mars, let's suppose there were structures here. You know, we had this devastation come over, whether these giant waves or whatever it was, totally catastrophe, totally did what it did to this planet. And what we're seeing is bits and pieces of this. Yeah, Pete, you said well-hidden debris field. Yeah, I mean, these three things alone, like I said, I'll zoom way in. This piece at the top in the middle, and I'm going to zoom back out so it'll get clearer. This piece right here, and then you got this third one right here. All right there, these three pieces. 1, 2, 3. Alien Tenny said proper color picks would show rust, etc. on these so-called rocks. Oh, you can almost bet it. You know, I mean, we don't even know what they built out of, right? A lot of this stuff could be all stainless steel. Could be a combination of regular steels and stainless. It's hard to tell, right? And it's it's hard to tell what the hell these things are. We can only speculate. You guys know that. But just the shapes of these things, you go, I'm not so sure they're rocks, right? King Beauregard, you said, first time I've joined you for one of these, Chris. Quite interesting. Thanks. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, man. And yeah, we're just analyzing some of these so-called rocks in these, and we're just speculating as what these things could be. But whatever they are, they don't seem to be, just random rocks, right? Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Mr. Gossamer. Yeah, another fourth to the left of the third. Looks like a base for the third. Yeah, absolutely. You got these pieces, just random pieces. I mean, you got this one here in the middle of the screen. Looks part, orangey and part white on the right side of it. And then you got this other piece. Could be part of that. We don't know. This looks like some kind of weird block or something laying way over there. Of course, it's hard to tell. That looks like crap, to be honest with you. How are we doing out there, Rachel Dragonfly? Good to see you in there. me see what we got in the back here. This is all random garbage in the back. This is... Look at the way they did this. Look at the blurring. You can see just a little detail in between all of this blur. Look at this. Oh, yeah, it's a shame. I'd love to be working there and see some of the stuff these people are seeing. It just must be absolutely crazy to see this. And again, this is where we started off with this stuff here. Again, this wasn't my find. This was San Kotvik's. And, of course, I called it the stone sewing machine. Of course, it's not. But and I just don't notice this. Look at this circle right in the front of it. Comes down like that. Got this like ring with a black circle in the middle of that. And it goes back off to this, like towards the back. See that? Not sure what this is either, right to the left of it. Got that kind of silverish metal metallic look to it. Yeah, here's that surfboard, well, skateboard right there. Kyle will love that. How fast does it go? But, yeah, I mean, you know, rocks are one thing. I'm okay with rocks. We can all agree on that. But when you look at things that are sticking out and pieces that nice square, nice 90-degree corners, pieces like little white pieces sticking out of the top of them, you have to question it, you know? You know, you got all of this randomness, supposed rocks, and then you have things like this, you know? Again, with this edge right here, look at the edge to this, straight across at the top, comes back down at a right angle, and then you have the line, the inside line, like again, it has a wall around this thing, like it's got depth to this thing. You can see this very faint line doing this here, and it's going the same shape as the outer edge of it. So that's telling me that it's got depth to it. It's got walls to it. Not sure what this is. Stone clamshell or something. I don't know what that... Yes, maybe, yeah. Martian hoverboard. Got these straight edges like this here. Nice straight edge. Kind of goes like this and rounded on the right-hand side of it. Got the straight piece coming down. Could be a rock, absolutely. I mean, to me, this is a manufactured rock. Look at this. Come on. Like I said, I live in a mountainous area. I see rocks all the time. And, of course, they're all different size, shapes, and everything else you can think of. But never do I see, like, a square with a little tiny dot right in the middle of it. I mean, and lines looking like that. And I mean, anybody who looks at rocks, who's been in anywhere, check this thing out. Didn't even see this earlier. Look at this. What's the chances of this thing doing this? Look at the top of it. 90-degree corner right there. Another one sticking out just below it. Same thing. But look at the way this thing is designed. Again, folks, look. Didn't even see this until now. No way, no how is that natural. What do you guys think of that? That's what it is, maybe. Swamp gas. That's what it is. Get back out of this a little bit, focus a little bit better. Yeah, you're right about that, Grant. Yep. And NASA employs spotty teenagers who have nothing better to do except play on their Xbox. Edwin Nelson, you said the theory is Mars was in a war with the planet next door that is now the asteroid belt. Is that true? Could very well be. Yeah, to me, that thing there's no way. You could just see the way that this thing is made. We've got this piece here, but again, we've got this top layer, second one down, like a step down, and then you have this 90-degree angle doing this, and look at the slot right here. What the hell? I don't think Mother Nature's going to make them kind of details, and you can see where they try to like go over this, so you don't really see the clear details in between each of these step kind of things right there. See that? Yeah, I don't think so. David P., what's going on? You said it looks like they just laid pots on top of each other in this photo. Well, yeah, I mean, you can just see where they try to just, like I said, whatever they may be, they try to imitate a rock, like the rock mimicking software that they can use, and they can dress up these things to look like, that's why they look so, they look like rocks, but they're just so poorly made rocks. You can just see the way they're designed. It just doesn't make any sense. Totally weird stuff like this right here. What has this weird line? Look at the face of this. Has this nice fine line going up around like this here. See that? See the details? Look at the way this thing does this. Yeah, that's a rock from nature. Yeah. It carves lines, puts straight lines, put 90-degree angles. Well, this is not 90, but you get the idea. But, I mean, look at this stuff. It's got these holes at the top here. But, again, this abrupt face, it looks like. And this line right behind it. Fine line. What the hell? Not sure what this thing is either. The back here. Yeah. Mother Nature does not work like that. Does not make lines, does not make designs, does not do this kind of stuff. And this thing, you can see, it's got like different lines in this. Where you can see right here on the side, very, very light. There's a lot more detail to this thing right here. A lot more detail. Stephen Wagner, he said, unfiltered pictures must be quite amazing to view as human from another planet. Absolutely, I agree. What's going on there, Pat Joan? Good to see you in there. Yeah, Mr. Gosby said another transparent rock. Yeah. Maybe he says it looks like a car. Well, it has that, yeah, a Fallout car. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, when you look at this thing, look at the fake, I mean, I wouldn't say fake, but look at the fine line right there going around it. Like has this nice smooth side to it. Like, it's much more to this thing than meets the eye. I mean, again, this piece coming down, coming back up, another line. Yeah, look at this. Bottom edge. No way. That's not natural. This rock right here. Look at the little pieces underneath in between here. You got straight up and down lines. You guys see that? Third eye open. You said, I've been a rock hunter all my life and took a geology course. Not all of these objects are remotely... objects are remotely natural rocks, like natural rocks, rather. Yeah, exactly. I mean, is there rocks in this photo? Absolutely. But are they all rocks? No. And I would say most of this, what we're looking at is the debris field. And they're making these things, like I said, look like rocks. It's as plain and simple as that. You know, to anybody who's never seen this stuff, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about, man. They're just rocks, rocks, rocks. Well, I'll tell you what. That's a funky looking rock. Show me one in here on Earth that looks like that. And has those fine lines like I just showed you on this one here. Just like that. Doing that there. And having this face to this like this. And the design of this. Looks like a little wing or some design on this thing. See that? Yeah. Show me how Mother Nature can do that. She can do some incredible things, don't get me wrong. But when you start to see more and more of these things in one area doing the same thing, meaning have some kind of intelligent like look to it, nah. Not sure what to make of this thing. You actually see this stuff is like painted on there. And you see the different colors they have here on this right here. This is like different layers of like a manipulation as far as I'm concerned. That's judging by what I've seen in photos for like quite a while. That's what I've seen. And you can see that, like the purples, the oranges, and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's real sand. And I'm the Pope. Oh, stone accordion. You know, you would expect a rock, any rock, to be somewhat similar. And I don't mean like it has to be perfect in size, but let's say this is underneath, and this is on the bottom of a... like a lake or something like that. You would expect every rock to be smooth or very similar in texture, right? Instead, you have these things that are all different, every kind of texture you could possibly think of. Because you would think if something's in the actual area, it would have the same, kind of similarities as far as texture-wise, but you don't see that. CGI for show. Yeah, no doubt about it, Kyle. Yeah, this stuff is crazy. Exactly. H-Toss. Yeah, you said the orange goes below the sand. Oh, yeah. You can look back at that thing again. Provided we can find it. Actually, any of these you can just look at. I mean, you can just see the way this stuff... It's like it's just been painted around, whatever the hell they wanted to paint. First of all, they just change it, make it look like a rock, and then they put all this fake sand on it. This is the reason why they got so many people working in CGI, right? In the CGI department. You see where they kind of go into whatever this object is, and you see the line where they actually go around it. Look at this, right there. Yeah, they don't doctor in these photos. There's a white piece right here. Look at this right here. Looks like something right here. It's a space right there, like a slot, and there's something right between it. Looks like this V-shaped piece, like a wide V, and a straight piece coming straight down in the center of it. See that? I'm not sure what this is either. That's pretty crazy. Pretty cool. There's the antenna, the VHF antenna on the omnidirectional antenna for the Curiosity rover. That's pretty cool. Third eye open. Gotta go, folks. Take care, everyone. And we're going to be doing the same thing, guys, because the wife just told me supper is ready, so we're going to be rocking on this anyway. I wanted to show you everything. What I wanted to show you was hair. Showed you guys. So, yeah, awesome. But, guys, I appreciate everybody being here. You guys are the best. You guys know that. Nothing but love for you guys. Great community. I couldn't ask for better people. People can claim that they got the better, people, but I don't think so at all. There's a few channels that have some great people. In fact, a lot of you guys are actually part of a lot of these communities, like Alien Hunter, so on and so forth. Just a lot of good channels. And that's what's awesome about it. You want to have good people. And, much love to you guys. I'm going to jump on off of this. You guys have yourself a great evening and a great weekend. And that's all I can say. And I want to say, big support and big shout out to anybody who's been buying some of the merch. You guys are the best on that. And again, you get to have something you can wear. That's what's cool, right? And of course, any monetary support you guys give is awesome. You guys, again, I can't thank you enough. As well as just a regular support and everybody supporting each other. That's what's awesome about this channel more than anything. So guys, keep being who you are. Everybody have yourself a good evening, a great night. And weekend, rather. And that's it. We'll see you guys on the flip side, and we'll see you in the next video, right? Anyway, guys, peace. Have a good one.